Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. Our topic today is a lovely juicy one, love and the internet, changing how we connect and express, very in line with the UK's Valentine's Day, which is on Friday. I'm yet to find out whether America and Canada have a Valentine's Day on the 14th of February. I'm Caroline Heward. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. Jacqueline as your host for USA Global TV and Radio's flagship show, A Woman's Prerogative. I'm a TV presenter on USA Global TV and Radio and the resident therapist for USA Global TV and Radio. A warm welcome to our loyal viewers and our friends at E360 TV. Hello to all of our friends on our usual social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and X. I'm joined today by a full-time panelist, Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES. She is all the way from Canada. Before she comes out, let me introduce to you a little bit about who she is and what she does. She is known as the Great Divine Mother. She is a mother, a reverend with a master's in metaphysics. Let's give a warm welcome as we bring out Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES.
Hello, thank you for having me. Hello to everyone. It's nice to be here.
Hello. For our viewers that are here for the first time or people here on the replay, please introduce yourself, Reverend LYDIA, a little bit about what you do, and at the end of the show, we'll give our best contact details. So just for now, a little bit about what you do and how you help people.
Okay, to start with, I'm a registered nurse. I retired, but I still help as a registered nurse. I work in psychiatry. I'm a holistic nurse also. I'm a healer. I work with matters of the heart. I wrote 2 books so far, well, 3 books. 2 are available on Amazon. They are called 111 Reflection for Thy Earth Odyssey. They are self-help books. They really do help in people to grow and find themselves. They are books that are there for journaling. I help people find their way, understand their life, and understand what actually is coming to them. So that is what I do.
Thank you, Reverend LYDIA. And for me, as I introduced myself a little earlier on, I'm known as Caroline Heward, the Harley Street Stress Expert. I help people bust their stress. How do I do that? I work with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, how the mind and body connects, and what happens to the person physically, emotionally, mentally, and behaviorally when there's an imbalance. The imbalance is the symptom. Some people walk around and they say, I'm not stressed, but they might be complaining about a headache. They might be complaining about a relationship, or they might be complaining about a physical symptom. That is how their stress is manifesting. I work with the client to identify the root cause. What that means is when it first appeared, some people will say they have repeating migraines, but they get rid of it, but it keeps coming back. And there will be a root cause as to why that keeps coming back. And I identify that through looking at the blueprint of the person. I'm also a speaker and a trainer and a coach and a mentor and an author. I help people identify what's creating the stress in their environment by giving them raised insight, awareness, education. I do lunch and learn talks at corporates, either online and offline, in terms of in-person events at their corporate companies. Also, I'm here and I do talking heads. I'm an expert talking heads therapist, and have my own talk show once a month, and that's on a Thursday at the end of the month. So let's get into our topic, Reverend Lydia. I thought of this topic because I wanted to be topical. In the UK, we celebrate Valentine's Day. Do you have a celebration of Valentine's Day in Canada?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And in the United States also, it is the same thing.
Wonderful.
Yes, so both countries have the same thing also.
Well, I wasn't sure. So I decided to have it themed as love, but looking at it from the perspective of love and the internet, because we are changing the way that we express how we love, how we express. But first of all, my first question to you, Reverend Lydia, is what does love mean in today's digital world? So just hearing that as a topic, what comes up for you? What's your first thoughts in terms of how you react to that question? What does it mean in today's digital world?
Well, love in the digital world to me is respect, because there is a lot of lack of respect. And this actually shows a lot of lack of love, because the thing is that people, they start a conversation with someone on the internet, and then they just walk away without saying, sorry, I have to do something. They just walk away. When you have a conversation with someone, you just do not walk away from the conversation without excusing yourself or excusing yourself from the table if you're having dinner with someone. But people allow themselves to have this lack of love that they should not have, because they think everything is allowed because no one sees them. So there is a lack of love on the internet because there is a lack of respect on the internet. But at the same time, there is the opposite. There is much more love that can be shown, because many people are too shy to show their love. But how many times do we actually just get a heart from someone, a hug from someone, just an emoji that shows a hug, a heart, a kiss from someone that no one would ever do that to us in real life. So there is pros and cons to the internet when it comes to love. And I think there are more pros than cons.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And I have something that you mentioned about people leave the conversation. I thought it was really funny. I smiled because I'm the same. I always give I'm really sorry, I've got to go now. I've got to get on with something else. It's been great to talk to you. And I finish off the conversation. But there are many people that I have spoken to in the past where I've answered a question or they've answered a question and then they just go. It's like left. And I'm sort of there waiting. I carry on with something else. And I think that it's not finished. And so I really do agree with you that I feel I'm left hanging. And that's because I'm used to being in that face-to-face conversation where we have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and the conversation ends. But I think that what comes to mind for me is that there's distractions. And it might be that a call came in and they were distracted to take that call and then they forgot to come back to the conversation, or they entered into a conversation with someone else either by message or by call, or they had a meeting to go to and there wasn't time. So I'm very forgiving in terms of, if the conversation's left hanging. But I do agree with you that it feels quite uncomfortable, almost like you're left in limbo. And because it's happened so many times, I just now forgive it and understand that people have many different distractions where they take precedence over the online activity. And to bring up your point about the fact that people are sharing more love in terms of the emotional emocons, I agree with you that it's actually very nice to receive a love. I think that to receive a love is nicer than to receive a like. Some people like things and some people love things. And I always feel, well, maybe it wasn't really appealing as much because they only liked it. And then I sometimes look at their posts, not that I really have time, but I look at their posts and they like everything. They don't love things, they like things. So then I realize, oh, that's just their thing. They like rather than love. Sometimes I like to, I read the comments or the posts and then I'll put a care instead of a love because I'm showing compassion. And I really do like the fact that they brought out the emocons and that take away that flatness of the text when it's just written. So yes, I think that I get an awful lot of love at times, and I get a lot of care as well when I share probably more personalized posts. And people just come out of the woodwork and, share those kinds of things. When I'm doing more professional things, I don't get so many. But then when I do a very personal post, I tend to get it's like I get 100 or 200, responses. And I just think, wow, especially on my birthday, I just think that's kind of, and I'm filled with a lot of love. So I do agree with you about the fact that even though it's online and it's at a distance, there is a lot of love because it lifts me and it makes me feel very different. So I'm totally in agreement with you that there's a lot of pros on it and there is a few cons too, but isn't there with everything? So just to add to what you were saying about the fact that people do leave, how does it leave you feeling when they've left the conversation and you're hanging? I've given you a description of I kind of forgive it. But, what is it how does it make you feel and what do you do with that?
Oh, I just move on with what I'm doing. That is all. I don't even think about it because I do not understand people that do such a thing. And I just don't start analyzing the situation because so many people just do it. So it is a lot because many people just use nicknames. They will not use their names, they will use nicknames. So they will do that and not feel they have any regards to have for another person because it's not really them. So that is the way lots of people respond. It is not really them. So they do not have to be as respectful. So to me, it is just another person that just leaves the conversation, and that is all. I do not think much about the entire process. I just move on with something else, and I don't think about it that much. Sometimes when there's a conversation that someone is really suffering, and they start they start chatting to me about it, and they're suffering, and all of a sudden they go. Well, yes, I do not really appreciate because the thing is that they leave me in a sort of questions. I question myself. What will they do next? Because I have to deal with people that are in a lot of suffering. So what will they do next? Because what is their next move? I'm in another country. I listen to them. Many chat to me from Nigeria, from Tanzania. So that is something that leaves me in a bit of distress when they are suffering. But other than that, no, I just do not think about it.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. That makes me think about the times that I've been in a call and I've lost connection, and we're mid-sentence. They're either in mid-sentence or I am, and then the connection drops, and then I don't hear back from them. I might have identified a root cause of a symptom, and then the call just drops. And I feel the same because of the type of connection in terms of a therapy connection. It also concerns me. And so what I do is I drop a message saying, I'm not sure what happened. We seem to have lost connection, or maybe your battery died, or maybe the coverage dropped. And because I feel nervous about leaving the person in that exposed state. So I'm entirely in agreement with you in terms of, when somebody is in that state of imbalance, or discomfort, that I don't particularly enjoy a connection being dropped like that, because I want to make sure that they're okay. So that brings me on to another question, really, about the deeper connections, the more genuine connections. Do you feel it's possible to get genuinely, properly deep, profound connections online and through digital media? And before you answer that, my feeling is that we are here now in a digital reality. And you're in Canada and I'm in the UK. The time zones, I'm 5 hours ahead of you. And I feel that I get a good connection. And a lot of my work is on the phone, online. So it's very little face-to-face, where I'm on camera with people. And I do feel, and the time that I can think about is when we were in lockdown and we weren't allowed to go out. And we were in this space of, if you lived on your own, you're on your own. And so I didn't see anyone for 1 week from the next, only when I went shopping. And it was quite a release to have that connection on Facebook, where people were posting and liking and loving. And I felt a huge connection there. And that's a time where I wasn't really comfortable with being on screen that much. And I'm still not as comfortable being on screen for hours at a time in text messaging. And yet that brought me a hell of a lot of comfort, and it warmed me, and I felt deep connections at that time when there was no other way that I could connect with people. What are your thoughts, Reverend LYDIA, on what I've just shared? And what are your thoughts about, is it possible to gain deep connections in our digital world?
Oh, absolutely. It is. It is so possible to have deep connections with many people around the world. The important thing is honesty. If we are honest, if we are genuine, if we are authentic, we can have communication everywhere around the world, and the internet is a very good way. So the thing is that we do not have to see them in person, because time and space do not really exist. This is just, facts that humans have. So if we really want to make it work, we can make it work. So the thing is that's to stay genuine, to stay authentic, to stay honest. And then we can make it work, and we can make so many friends everywhere into the world. So, oh yes, it really can work. It works, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to know people from around the world. I love it.
Thank you, Reverend LYDIA. And that brought me very neatly into my next question about, is it possible to have that depth of authenticity in our connections? And I'm inclined to agree with you that you can. It's very possible. And it's very possible not to. It depends on the depth of connection that the other person wants to receive as well. Because just like in normal life, in physical life, there is what I would call fair weather friends that connect with you in a very, what I would call flutterby way. They'll say, hi, how are you? And then they're off to the next person. And I would feel that it's just the same in our digital world online, that it's possible to have that flutter-by, fair-weather approach, as well as a deep connection. And it's just what we're doing is we're replicating what we do in our physical world, in our online world. One of the things that I'm not so keen on is avatars. If I'm going to be speaking to someone on camera, then I'd like to speak to them. I'd like to see them rather than an avatar. What are your thoughts about avatars?
I think the same as you. If I am to speak to a drawing, I'd rather not. So, I can go to the movies, no problem. So I do not like talking to, I do not like having interaction with an avatar, because to me it's just really not real. So I cannot see it. Well, when you talk to a person, you like to see the reaction.
Yeah.
So it's really important to see the reaction of a person, because that's how you can read a person. So it's not everyone that can read energy field. So normally people like to see the other person to see how they react to what we say. So what happens is that if there's an avatar, they can be doing anything while they're talking to us. They can be reading while they're talking to us, which does not show much authenticity. So I do think.
No, I agree. I'd rather if I'm going to do a face-to-face call online, then I'd much rather have it as a video real person than a cartoonic character. And at the same time, I'm auditory. My preference is auditory. So I'm really good in audio calls because I hear everything. I pick up every change of tone. I hear absolutely everything. So I do love to receive audio calls because I can hear everything. And I do like to hear, because the tone, the speed, the just everything, it's all there. And unlike the fact that I like to receive audio calls, I like to write my information down, my response. And that's because I feel that I'm not as comfortable unless I'm actually speaking to someone physically. So I write down what I want to say to make sure that I've got all the information down. And sometimes every now and again, I think, I'll just drop a little message, an audio message, but I don't feel it's as good as what they've left. And that's probably because I prefer to be speaking to the person directly rather than leaving what I would call a voicemail message. It feels a little bit impersonal, but I love to receive the voice calls. So that's something that appeals to me. Just looking a little bit further about internet and the digital world, romantic relationships. A lot of my friends have been dating online. And because they're dating online, they share their experiences. And I must admit, I haven't ventured into that place at all. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. And yet I do all my work, most of my work online. I place, my calls come through from Facebook and LinkedIn. So those are online territories. And yet I'm okay from a business perspective, but from a personal perspective, I much prefer to meet the person in a close proximity. And so I'm like my personal life is a face-to-face thing, and my business life, I'm quite happy online. So I'm a bit of an all sort. What are your thoughts about, and I am aware that you're in a relationship right now, a very wonderful one, but what are your thoughts about people and their experiences of developing a relationship online versus a relationship that's in person?
Well, I have two schools of thoughts on online relationships. Some can be absolutely marvelous, true, and be real, but you have many people that lead people on also. I was one of the lucky ones that met online. I like fishing, and we were talking fishing. And the thing is that, I met this wonderful man that, makes my daily life so wonderful. But at the same time, I have friends of mine that have been conned so bad and hurt so bad. So I have two opinions about that. It can be good, it can be bad, because all depends on, well, first of all, if you can meet the person, that's fine. But if that person is 2 countries away, well, just forget it, because it's not going to happen. It's just, you're dreaming. That's the way I see it. Someone is not going to move 2 countries away just to meet you. It is not going to happen. So I do understand that meeting a person like 5 hours away is realistic. But when you know you will not meet that person for years on, you do not know what you're getting yourself into. And many of my friends have been very hurt by people they have had. I'm talking men and women, not only women. I'm talking men and women. They have poured their hearts to people on the internet that they thought were honest with them. And what happened is that they fell in love. Many got conned. They lost money. Many things happened to them. So there is something to be very, very careful. There is that so-called thing about, I'm a widow, I'm a widower, I'm an engineer, I work in an oil platform. So those things you have to be aware, because this is not the real thing. This is just, you're going to be conned when it comes to that. But you can meet someone honest, like I had the luck to meet. So it's a matter of being careful. And it's a matter of asking the right questions also. And it's a matter also of being aware that every time you pour your energy in someone on the internet, you can be hurt. So you have to be aware. So that is the way I think.
I'm in agreement with you. I don't have time to be in endless conversations with someone online. And it's quite topical, really. I had someone come in my Facebook window. He connected with me, and I just said, thank you for reaching out and connecting with me. And then I got a question back about a few weeks after we connected to say, would it be appropriate in your country for me to message you and ask you for money? And I went back and said, well, in different countries, it has different appropriateness. And I looked at where he was from, and he was from Nigeria. And I says, I see you're from Nigeria, so it would be much more culturally acceptable for you to ask for money living in Nigeria. But then I can also say to you, and I put all this down in a message, I can also say that Nigeria is well known, and this is not putting down a country, but, because he'd come in and asked me, I said that Nigeria is very known for running scam relationships for money. So please, refrain from wasting your time, because I don't have the time, energy, or inclination to continue this conversation. So he came back with a picture, which was different from his profile picture. And he also said, thank you very much. And I thought that was, sort of, I just laid it out straight that I'm not in the game. And I also said, I'm not playing your game. And so he sent me the picture, which was very different. And I just thought, that was somebody that was going to be a romance scam artist. So we are pretty much almost ran out of time, Reverend Lydia. I can't believe that we've gone that quickly. And there was still more to cover. Maybe there will be another part for this to look at love in the digital age. But before we go, I wanted to share a very quick story. I was on a phone call today with my business bank, and I have struggled to get my online access to my business account for about over a decade, about 15 years. And maybe longer than that. Since 2007, I haven't managed to ever get onto online. And this one person helped me today. And I said, hallelujah, 3 times. And I goes, hallelujah, hallelujah. and he was laughing. And I said, this means so much to me, because this is something that I've tried to do. And I pushed myself into getting this done because it hasn't worked. And I finally can see my statements online. And I said, I'm so happy. He thought I was hilarious, but I was showing love to customer service business bank person. And he was so happy. He asked me to send a quick email to his boss, because he was laughing and his boss was not concerned about whether he was actually in a call or whether he was in a friendship call. But what I wanted to share, though, was we can show love in so many different ways. And the fact that it was a frustrating hour, an hour and 11 minutes that I spent on Friday and didn't get anywhere. And I managed to get online. And for the first time, I saw my bank account. And it was really, really exciting. I was very happy. So a shout out to Abraham, who really helped me there. I can't mention the business bank name because I don't want to give commercial preference in the advertising. But I just wanted to give a big shout out. We can share love by saying thank you. We can share love in so many different ways, and there are many types of love. And I'm going to do another show on love in terms of different relationship loves. But now we have pretty much run out of time. Please, Reverend Lydia, share how people can contact you, what the best way of contacting you will be.
The best way to contact me is through WhatsApp at 1-514-582-6882. 1-514-582-6882, or on Instagram at divadivinem_. When it comes to my Facebook, they can go into my personal Facebook, LYDIA Gillen. It's just in England you pronounce it Gillen. Guylaine, because I added my second name, FOUGERES. And that is the way they can, and on my LinkedIn also, same name. So they can add me to their LinkedIn also. So I always am very happy to talk to anyone. I take appointments, and I'm there to listen also. And I celebrate weddings in Canada. So thank you very much for having me. And I will thank everyone that works at customer service for whatever company, because they are real saints. I will have to say that.
Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia. And for me, you can reach me on nomorestress at live.co.uk, or call on +44 if you're international. If you're local, 07523 120 189, or follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn. And the details have been up on the banner underneath while I'm speaking. You can also message me, and I will respond on either of those platforms, Facebook and LinkedIn. Well, we are pretty much out of time. It's been a pleasure to explore love and the internet, changing how we express, how we connect and express. Now over to our sponsors, and thank you very much to our wonderful Dr. Jacqueline for an amazing whizzy background effects that have been going through this show. Thank you very much to all our viewers, either on the live or the replay, and I look forward to seeing you next week at the same time, which is Monday at 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye for now, and over to our sponsors.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur, or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming, and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
My name is Steve Klein, born Manchester, England, 1953. My quest in my lifetime is to create artwork from my soul and the deepness within my wildest dreams and fantasies. In 2012, my heart stopped when I was given too much anesthetic for a minor knee operation, and this near-death experience took me to another multidimensional world, an out-of-body experience, and I was given the gift of being blessed by an overwhelming, burning passion to become, for the very first time in my life, an artist with an eternal, passionate desire to bring my art, which I've named multidimensional, subliminal, freeform art, to the world, as only 3% recover from what I experienced, and now in my golden years want to release my cosmic, vital energy through my art to allow people to be a part of my cosmic dance.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.